Yeah, I have a lot of memories in there.
Now it's gone.
Yeah. Thing is, until you asked, I hadn't even, it's so ruined, you can't even remember what building it was. But this was like my go-to place for me and my friends to go rent videos, video games. I don't know how much more I can think of this, actually.
My name is Markus Naarttijärvi. I'm a photographer based in the north of Sweden.
I grew up in a mining community which is called Kiruna, which has one of the largest underground mines in the world. When I was little and we used to take like Sunday drives, there's this beautiful landscape around Kiruna. It's like unspoiled nature, there's mountains, everything is like really nice, but that's not really where we went with the family. We went to drive around industrial areas with my father, who was like, okay, like let's drive through this industrial area looking at all the neat like trucks and things. And I remember going on those drives and thinking like, oh, this is amazing. Look at all these things and all these places and all these exciting like weird things that they have. I've always been drawn to those places because of where I grew up and how I grew up. It's been known for quite some time that the underground mining in the town I grew up in Kiruna, is like in a very literal sense undermining the city. They're taking out iron ore and the city is starting to collapse. 20 years ago they started like planning for moving the city. So they started this giant project of tearing down or moving buildings to a new center. The old city will just be a wasteland. A lot of the places that I have memories from growing up are already torn down. Other places are in the process of being torn down or moved. And there's a completely new city being built. Someone is erasing parts of your spatial memory. I mean, there's no commercial interest in taking these photos. There's no one that's going to pay you to explore these industrial areas in the north of Sweden just for the hell of it. Having the means to do so and getting a grant that allows you to take something that is a passion project that you feel is important in some way and being able to make that a reality is really rewarding and really great. Growing up in the north, you have this notion that the southern parts, the capital region of Sweden, doesn't really care. It's not like you're not a part of their mindset other than as a natural resource environment. We have our mines and we have our forests and we pick up what we need. It's not really a place people think of. This part of the country it doesn't matter for a lot of people. I mean, it's wasteland. There's this tension between what this place is and all the great things that exist there and how it's viewed from afar. When I sort of this project in my head, it started to be connected to this ongoing process in the north of industrial transformation, referred to in Sweden as the green industrial transformation, because a lot of old carbon-intensive industries are being transformed into like carbon-neutral steel making, carbon-neutral mining, making batteries. Everything is brand new, modern economy, everything is green and lovely, and there is this truth to that, because I mean, it's about reshaping an old industrial legacy that has been sort of environmentally or like climate unfriendly. There's also this flip side to that, which is, well, you have to start new mines and you have to build new factories. There's things happening in the landscape and like in these societies where these things are built, and some of it is good and some of it is bad. I'm interested in like the tension that it creates. We're restructuring everything, we're doing something new, we're investing millions, billions. What happens in these liminal spaces? What happens in these communities? And from a landscape perspective, like what happens to when this giant factory just pops up in the middle of nowhere. I think what I want to do is to capture those liminal spaces between function and beauty, but also between like nature and industry. There's a lot of interesting things happening in those spaces. I like to think of it like these border zones. Middle grounds that no one goes to. Like, why would you stand like outside of the factory where it's still like not pretty enough? But to me, those places are like a place of beauty, because it feels to me like the place that most accurately represents a lot of the places where I grew up. A bunch of beauty surrounding it, and then there's this objectively quite ugly industry that ruins it. But in fact, there's a lot of beauty in that middle ground, in that border area.